We are live. I believe the sound is on. Try to set this up here so everybody can see me. Live. Sweating. It's hot as fuck out here. UFC 239 this weekend. John Jones defends his light heavyweight title once again. Let me get this stream up real quick. And I'll be more attentive to everybody. Yeah. Good to see John Jones back, man. If I must say so myself. Came back, beat Alexander Gustafsson, and then also defeated former middleweight Anthony Smith. He'll be fighting former middleweight Thiago Santos next. A lot of middleweights coming up to light heavyweight and challenging. The next one looks like it's going to be Luke Rockhold, if he can get past Han Blachowicz this Saturday on this Saturday's card. We'll talk about that one in just a minute. Let me just put the link up here. Everybody, can you see the sweat coming off? It's like 100,000 degrees where we're at right here. Love it. Who doesn't love to sweat a little bit? Silly goose. Silly fucking goose. First fight of the night, Diego Sanchez leaving American Top Team before the fight, which is very interesting. He spoke a lot about the fact that, or not American Top Team, Jackson Wink, out in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. He spoke a lot about how Holly Holm and John Jones got a lot of the attention going up to this camp, mainly because, they're the two title fights, so they're the biggest fights on this card. Diego Sanchez said he doesn't care. He is Diego Sanchez. Therefore, he deserves to have the proper coaching around him. So he decided to leave Jackson Wink. I don't know where he went over to, but his first fight after the move, he is on a 2-fight win streak. Craig White and Mickey Gall, both pretty decent grapplers, which is good because he's going to be going up against another grappler, Michael Chiesa, submission artist. He's 15-4 as a pro, to where Sanchez is 29-11. So 40 fights for Sanchez, only 19, less than half of the amount of fights goes to Michael Chiesa. 11 out of 15 of his wins are by submission. He has no knockout wins. So Diego Sanchez, quite literally, if he wants to, could sit there and bang. Has no fear. Because it's pretty much that's not what's going to end the fight for Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa needs to get to the fight to the floor against a very good wrestler, somebody who's really good against at takedown defense, as Diego Sanchez. I don't think he gets it done. I think Diego Sanchez gets either a knockout, maybe second round. And if not knockout in the second round, I'm going to go with decision by Diego Sanchez. Either way, I think Diego Sanchez is probably going to have this pretty handily. Makes him 3-0. Puts Michael Chiesa in pretty much a weird spot. Masvidal knocks Askren out in round 1. I hope so. That actually is going to be my pick. Thanks for beating me to it, Greg. Jorge Masvidal, Ben Askren. I'm going to go Masvidal by... Nah, Chiesa does not smoke Diego. Not a chance, bro. Not a fucking chance. Diego's going to just outwork him in every way, especially standing up. Takedown defense is going to be on point. What do you want to bet? You don't even got... I got no way to contact you if you lose, man. I just got YouTube. I hope that you come back to the video. If you lose, you just never come back. You got to have, like, some type of, like, a Twitter or some shit. Like a DM you and fucking bother you every day. Let's say Diego's got that one, man. I got Masvidal. Knockout by first round, I think, is pretty accurate. He's a striker. 33-13 pro MMA, so he's got a lot of experience behind him, Masvidal. Over 46 fights. Askren Well, he's only 19-0-1, so he's only 20 fights. So again, it's another one of those less than half of the experience. I just feel like Masvidal, with the amount of experience he has, will be able to stuff the takedown if it comes, and will be able to hands him up off the feet to get himself a win. I'm going to call it knockout in the first round. The one fight we skipped over, Luke Rockhold, Han Blachowicz, we talked about a little earlier. No, I don't agree with that, Greg. I don't. But first, I'm going to get to that in a minute. I think it's John Jones. But Rockhold making his debut at light heavyweight against Han Blachowicz. Of course, his debut. He hasn't fought since last, I think it was February or March 2018. When he got knocked out by Romero. He's a guy that holds out for fights, so got passed up. Yeah. Got passed up a bunch at 185, decided to move up 205, and they give him a fucking killer. Straight killer with come here, puppy. Straight killer with fucking crazy striking and 9 submission wins. So I think there's not a chance that Rockhold gets the win. I do see him getting finished. I could that's fresh in my mind. Honestly, I would say was he's either gonna get knocked out or submitted one way or the other. So we got Sanchez and Masvidal the first 3 fights. Then you got to the co-main, Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes. Rematch from back in the day. Holly Holm, since she knocked out Rousey, lost to Miesha Tate in a comeback loss. She was beating Miesha Tate the whole fight, and then Miesha Tate came up with the submission and Silva style against Chael Sonnen. After that, she lost to Shevchenko. Then after that, she lost controversially, kind of, to Jermaine Durandame. Nunes by murder? Yeah, see, I don't see it like that. Holly Holm is a little bit of a different fighter. I do see Amanda Nunes winning, but a little bit of a different fighter here. If we're being honest. Like I said, Holm went on that horrible streak. She went up against Jermaine Durandame. Durandame hit it twice after the bell. Very blatant shots. Come here, Molly. Very blatant shots. Should have got at least 1 point taken, and that would have either resulted in a draw or Holm winning by points on the decision. So I think she got skipped there. After that, she comes back. She knocks out Bethe Correia with a question mark kick. Lost decision to Cyborg and beat Megan Anderson, which was big. She was supposed to fight Aspen Ladd. I want to say on this card, then they needed a fight for Nunes, so they gave her Nunes, put Aspen Ladd fighting Jermaine Durandame in Sacramento, I think in the 20th or 13th or so. One or the other. Nunes, of course, is on an 8-fight win streak, 135, 145-pound champion. She beat Shevchenko twice, beat Miesha Tate, Raquel Pennington, Chris Cyborg. Her last loss was to Kat Zingano in 2014. So it's been a minute for her. She's 17-4 with 12 knockouts. So, we say normally women don't finish. The exception is Amanda Nunes, without a doubt. 100% puts it down. Prone finisher, going to go after the kill. I think if it's going to be a knockout, I'm going to call it a 3rd, 4th round knockout. Holm just tired of the beating, But I don't see it happening quick. I don't see Holm letting it get to her that quick. Could happen, but I got Nunes by 3rd, 4th round knockout because she is a monster. John Jones, Thiago Santos. John Jones 24-1, with his one being a disqualification loss to Matt Hamill. Which, speaking of Matt Hamill, he is trying to get the rematch with John Jones. Dana White has made it public that he is trying to get that one loss overturned so that he's undefeated. Because it's kind of a weird situation that he is because that one loss that he had to Matt Hamill, the reason it was considered disqualification is because Matt Hamill was deaf and didn't understand what the ref was saying to him, so he didn't respond to him. The ref took him not responding to him as he can't continue. Therefore, the fight was stopped, and John got disqualified, all because they were all confused because Matt Hamill couldn't relay what he was trying to say, or the ref couldn't relay what he was trying to say to Matt Hamill, and it was just big confusion, man. It was big clusterfuck, and you're right. It does need to be taken down. Matt Hamill was proposing that light heavyweight's a little stiff right now. He doesn't have a lot of people to fight there, so why not throw it to Matt Hamill? I'm not against it. Bring him back. Let him fight Jones. Jones kicking his ass first time anyway. He'll just do it again. And then it'll be definite. He'd be undefeated. What's this? That would be after Santos. Then it would be Hamill. That'd be 4 title defenses. Or 3 title defenses after winning it since he's been back. He's the best light heavyweight that's ever walked into the UFC. Even with the disqualification. That also should be a win. You're right. I mean, he did knock him out, but that's the time that the most recent that he got popped. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say that he deserves the win, if anything. I like the way that one was, no contest. No contests aren't bad. Something like that happens, and he wins the fight, but he kind of did some fucked up shit, maybe not deserve the win. I'm down with giving him no contest. There's no loss, man. That loss to Matt Hamill was bad. He was fucking Matt Hamill up big time. So it was bad. Santos, power striker, 4-fight winning streak himself. Kevin Holland at middleweight. Eric Anders, Jimmy Manoa, and Han Blachowicz at light heavyweight. All stoppages in those 3 fights. So, I mean, or those 4 fights. He's got the knockout chance, that first round knockout, like you were saying. He's got that chance in him, Santos does, but it's just, can he do that against John Jones, one of the greatest light heavyweights that's ever competed in mixed martial arts, especially in the UFC, Santos, only 3 fights into the light heavyweight, might be seeing that Jones might be a little too much, and that's what I think. I think Jones either by a late submission, 3rd, 4th round, or decision. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I truly think he gets it done is because look what happened. Look how much trouble Ben Askren was in against Robbie Lawler, who is a power striker. So yeah, that power is what fucked him up. But just look how many times he got hit by that power of Robbie Lawler. Now, Jorge Masvidal is a precision kind of guy. He's a pick your shots type of guy. He's gonna land a lot. You know what I mean? If he can land a lot and stay off the floor, yeah, Masvidal's fucking him up. I don't know about 1 round. I mean, we might be trying to. I mean, I might not like Ben Askren as much as you do, but for saying the first round, but he definitely could beat him. To be honest, I would think it would be Jorge Masvidal decision if he could keep it standing and maybe get taken down, get right back up type thing. But we have seen Masvidal struggle with, Damian Maia, a couple other fights that took him to the ground, and he struggled. Most recent one he won that everybody's so impressed with is Darren Till. And Darren Till's a striker, would never even threaten to go to the ground. So it's a completely different kind of fight. So for all we know, it's a difference, man. People say in an old fighter, the last thing to go is power. And that's true. It's hard to say who has better boxing, who has better stand-up between the two. I can tell you the one that's more accurate with their punches at this point in his career is Masvidal. The one who could punch probably harder is probably Robbie Lawler. Just because, power is the last thing to go when you get older, He's getting older. He's going to come after, he's going to come out of injury problems, you know what I'm saying? This and that. But the power, the punching power that Robbie Lawler has is probably going to be the last thing that goes for him. I'd like to see him fight Woodley next, and hopefully that goes good for him. He can get a pretty big. Hey, quit that. Get a pretty big fight after that too. Eating the damn deck, man. You know what I mean? But it's hard to say what you mean by better hands if you're just talking about boxing or. Yeah, it's debatable too, man. I think there's a chance. I think Woodley is pretty good stand-up. If we see a different Woodley than we've seen in the Usman fight, then I'm with it. He probably does sleep him. But if we see the same stuck, not going anywhere, Tyron Woodley that we've seen in the Kamaru Usman fight, Robbie Lawler beats the fuck out of him. You know. Ben Askren did what Tyron Woodley would probably like to do to a guy like Robbie Lawler. He's just not afraid of getting outstruck by him. He's like, I can outstrike Robbie Lawler, so let's just see if I can handle his power, if he can handle my power. That's why he knocked him out the first time. It was a great clash of styles because Tyron didn't have to use his wrestling. He didn't have to threaten the wrestling a lot. He was able to outstrike Robbie Lawler. Could be a different fight this time around, especially if Tyron's got some kind of doubts about him, or you know how fighters get, man. When this point in their career, whatever goes down, he could be thinking low of himself. He could be thinking that he might not be the same fighter that he used to be. Who knows? Can never be so sure. Never be so sure. It's going to be a great card, though. Just to recap, we got Jones, Nunes. Let's see, not off memory. I can look at it. Jones, Nunes, Masvidal, Blachowicz, and Diego Sanchez. JDS got robbed. How the hell did he get robbed? He got sparked the fuck out, bud. How do you get robbed if you get knocked out? If you heard that punch live, you know that JDS didn't want no more smoke there. And that's exactly what I said, man, in the prediction. I said I think that Junior Dos Santos could box him up. He can keep him at a certain distance. He could box him up and look really good. And I said, you know what also can happen? I said, Francis Ngannou can knock him the fuck out very early. That's also possible, dude. Because, that power hits you. And early stoppage he was getting up, dude, his face was eating the ground. That, if you heard, like, that snap that happened after Ngannou hit him, Robbie don't want none of that. If you ever got punched in the face with a glove on, you know what I mean? And, like, the sound it makes, then you times it by what that sound made, that that dude wasn't coming back for nothing, man. He had his face down. He was begging the ref to stop. I'm not saying nothing about JDS. He's a warrior, dude. Who could take that shot? Nobody could take that shot, dude. You get clipped by that shot, and you got brain problems for a long, 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 long fucking time. You know what I mean? It's not just like all good. Like, he's probably Junior Dos Santos' career probably just got sped up by a couple fights, man. He probably only got a couple left now, to be completely honest. He was trying to make a run at the belt, and now you can't run at the belt because because this is going on. How many more? I wouldn't have been surprised if he retired. He's trying to make a run at the belt. He got stopped by him. Francis don't got what it takes, man. Francis can't. He can't get the ground game. He gets tired too fast. Especially if they put him up against Daniel Cormier. If Daniel Cormier was still the champ and he decided to fight Francis Ngannou, Ngannou's fucked. Stipe had a good game plan. Stipe did the same thing to him. It's depends on who he gets matched up against, man. I guess who's the champion, what they can do. I wouldn't be surprised what happens with the Stipe and Daniel Cormier fight. I wouldn't be surprised both of them retire afterwards, and they're left with having to make a completely new match, like at heavyweight, to just figure out who's got the belt. And of course, Francis would be in that fight. So I mean, no, he don't. Definitely don't. I can almost guarantee at least once Cormier will get in on a takedown against Francis, and Francis is fucked. And then Stipe, we seen how it went the first time with Stipe. He just fucking wrestled him to death until he got him tired. Then he was fucking piecing him up top. You know, it's levels, dude. It really is levels. He's got power. I think that's about as far as you can go with Francis, to be honest. Let's see. There's fucking beetle in there making all sorts of weird noises. Can't stand it. We're going to go over the schedule. I'm going to tell you the prelims in a minute. Prelims are very exciting, in my opinion. It's debatable what other people are saying. It's not as stacked of a card as Minneapolis' undercard. They're doing ESPN better than the pay-per-views. Whatever the case is, I think it's got pretty good prelims. Before we go to the prelims, I'm going to talk about our upcoming schedule a little bit, because we won't be doing a lot of podcasts upcoming. All right. The 13th will be in Charlotte. We'll be with Joey Diaz in Charlotte, so we won't see Sacramento. That was Jermaine Durandame, Aspen Ladd, the return of Uriah Faber versus Ricky Simone, which I'll be upset that I missed that, actually. Josh Emmett, Rashad Bektik, Marvin Vittori on the card. Pretty nice little card. Darren Elkins, Ryan Hall, Nico Montano, Juliana Pena. Kane's doing wrestling, man. He's done. Kane retired, bro. John Vellante. Who wins? Dos Santos. Kane's done. Kane don't want that shit. He retired because he knows he can't hang. July 20th, we're not doing nothing for San Antonio, Dos Santos, and Edwards, my girl's birthday, so we won't be doing anything for that fight. Andre Arlovsky, Ben Rothwell, James Vick, Dan Hooker, Greg Hardy, Juan Adams. I'll be upset I'm missing that one too. Ray Borg's on the card, Roxanne Modafferi, Jennifer Maya. So that's a good one. The next one we'll be back for, fight companion wise, will be UFC 240 pay-per-view in Canada. It's Max Holloway, Frankie Edgar, Chris Cyborg, Felice Spencer, yada yada. Alexa Davis is on it. Gavin Tucker versus Song Woo Chao. Alejandro Pantoja versus Divas Infinido. That's a good fight. Eric Coach, Kyle Stewart, Jillian Robertson, Sarah Front is a good fight. And Jeff Neal and Nico Price. That's all. That's a fucking banger right there. So we'll be back for that one. Who knows? We'll see. It gets flexible sometimes, but it gets stiff sometimes. So we'll see. Covington, Lawler, and Newark. That's going to be a good card. I'm already calling that. I got a bunch of good UFC lined up, man. New York for 244. I like that. Madison Square Garden. It's good, man. Prelims for this card. Uh, the ones that everybody says are a little light. Gilbert Melendez, Arnold Allen. A fight that fell through from I think earlier this year. Good to have that one back. Claudia Gadelia, Ronda Marcos. Alejandro Perez versus Yadong Song. That's a good fight. Many people say could have been the fight of the night. I can't put that up there, but well, it probably fucks Covington up. If we're being honest. What is that noise, man? Fuck that goddamn beetle. I think Lawler's got that with Covington. I ain't even about the front. It's also got Marlon Chito Vera versus Nichilin Hernandez. He's fighting Nichilin Hernandez, who had a title fight for LFA in July. LFA lets him get out of that fight to chase his dream, to go to the UFC, to take on Marlon Vera on 1 week's notice. Before him, they turned to Darko Rodriguez of King of the Cage. And King of the Cage denied him a buyout to fulfill his dreams to go to the UFC because they said he's too much of a local draw to let out of his contract. So they took that opportunity away from him. Of course, Darko Rodriguez is trying to replace Sean O'Malley, who got popped for whatever it is he popped for last year. The same trace amounts were found back in the system. All know the story. Back in the system. So he is taken off the card. Just like last year, the same situation as John Jones. It was going to be in Vegas. They could have moved it to California, but I think they think that highly of John Jones. I'm not too sure if they think just that highly, just that much, that little bit much of Sean O'Malley as they think of John Jones. So they weren't going to move this one to California. We've seen no change. Fight stays in Vegas. O'Malley's off the card. New opponent for Marlon Vera. All in all, it's been a decent save to that fight. King of the Cage made a real ass of themselves doing what they did, but made ass of themselves. Didn't really affect good people, people that, affected Darko Rodriguez. Probably the only good person that it affected. Sucker Punch ENT came out with a statement that said that's the only fighter that they have under the King of the Cage promotion. And that they will never do business with anybody from King of the Cage ever again. And I agree, man. We had a very, very, very similar experience with the King of the Cage guys. We were applying for credentials, and the guy asks Eddie for his social media handle. Eddie gives it to him. Where are you? Eddie said he got a new page or whatever. Let's just say we're in the fucking 10 to 20,000 followers range with us combined. This guy said that we can't be credentialed to his fight because he gets people that have 1 million followers to post it on their page, and it's not worth losing one of their spots. So we looked it up, and the guy I work for, Eddie, Evil Eddie, actually has more followers on Twitter than King of the Cage does as a whole promotion on Twitter. But they turned us down. I don't know. They make asses out of themselves. It's probably one dude like James Dolan in the Knicks who's just fucking himself. He's fucking himself till he's broke. And what's he gonna do? I hear you. I wouldn't have took that route. If I'm James Dolan, I'm selling, man. Get somebody in here that knows what the fuck they're doing. Let's turn the Knicks around. To each his own, though. You can't pick everybody's route for him. You gotta yeah, I let some people make their own mistakes, and it's James Dolan and to the dude who runs King of the Cage. Guess you guys are gonna have to figure that out. This King of the Cage just got like 10 times less popular. Nobody even watched King of the Cage. The only reason King of the Cage was ever popular is because it produced some good fighters way back in the day, a long time ago, and hasn't in a very long time, to be honest. It's probably because they don't let their good fighters out of contract while they're still good. And then under the King of the Cage banner, they get knocked out, or this happens, or that happens, and then they're not a good fighter anymore. You know what I mean? They don't get let go in their prime like they used to. I think dudes over there at King of the Cage have definitely lost their way in a big way. Um, that's not their problem, man. They want to act like, you know, how they want to act. They want to keep people locked under contract. They want to keep people out of their events that have more followers than them. So be it, man. We were just trying to cover MMA. We're trying to help them out. Because all, from our standpoint, well, it was funny to us because we got more followers than him, like the King of the Cage, and you know, it's as a media aspect. Yeah, we're trying to come watch the fights. Yeah, we're trying to come cover the fights for our website. But we're also trying to do that for you, man. We're trying to make your brand bigger. You know, I did it for Island Fights. I've done it for PFL. I'll continue to do it for PFL because of how professional they were with me. It's the greatest experience in my MMA media career was with PFL. So I'll always show love to PFL. Every time we go to a UFC event, it's always love there. So we never got credentialed there, but it's always love when we go to the events. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what drives somebody to act like that with somebody that's trying to help you. But I guess at this point, you know, you never know, right? So 239, we gave, just to go over it, all the segments. We don't do this anymore. Scoreboard, the barbecue pit scoreboard, we're going 8-4 for Minnesota, which puts us at 136 and 111. So we're sitting a good bit above 50%. It's a good place to be for us right now. We're very excited about that position moving forward into the year. Hopefully we have very good picks for UFC 239. For UFC Minnesota, we gave it 1 point above UFC Greenville, 7.2. Great fights, great finishes. You know, Daniel Maya always takes the value down from the card. And, you know, you can't give 9s out to everybody because then what are you going to do when a 9 really does come along? You know what I mean? So not to Francis Ngannou's fault because he is probably a big part of why that card got a pretty good rating. How the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. Just how the cookie crumbles. It was a pretty good card, though. I enjoyed it. Let's see what's happening here. Delete emails. So that's it, man. Nothing. I don't believe anything this Saturday. I don't believe. Check on the channel, man. Always check on the channel because we could have something going on, but I don't think there will be anything this Saturday. Following Tuesday, I believe, is the Dana White Contender Series fight campaign / fiction show. So, of course, check us out on Tuesdays. We're having a lot of fun, man. Predicting fights, fight campaigns, fun as hell. So, always come back, always hang out. Barbecue Pit Live, partnered with Pure Evil MMA. Everybody go there for your latest news, opinion articles, anything MMA related you want to figure out. Go there. We probably got the answer. You can ask one of us on Twitter at Evil Eddie, at the Barbecue Pit _live. Not sure Danielle's handle at Easy with the Scoop. Easy with the Scoop. So boy, Easy. check us out. Hit us up on Twitter. You know, I'll find you. We'll get in touch, man. Gregory, make yourself a goddamn Twitter and some shit. Be a part of the 2020s, 2019, 2020s. Get out of 1990. Make yourself a Twitter and Facebook and all that shit. And hit me up, brother. Where's Crozer at? Get a hold of Crozer.